Well, good morning, or good afternoon, is it actually? It's a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for switching this on today and watching this. We apologise once again that we haven't been able to live stream this session live to you, to be able to do promise renewals all at the same time. But we are here out at Cranham, which gives us this beautiful background and a wonderful campsite to use. But it does mean we've had some of the technical difficulties that we've had today. So our apologies, you haven't been able to watch this live. We hope you're able to take part in the recorded version we're doing today. First of all, my name is Mark Spiller. I'm the County Commissioner for Gloucestershire Scouts. Thank you once again for joining us. And thank you so much for joining us to celebrate St George's Day and renew our promises together. It's an important part of what we do as scouting. So when we come together to celebrate scouting and celebrate the principles of scouting in lots of different ways, and we will also renew our promises and recommit to doing our very best week by week. Today, as I said, we are out at Cranham, and Cranham is celebrating its 75th anniversary this year, which is fantastic. We'll be telling you more about the activity that supports that later this year, but on June 1947, Cranham Scout Centre opened for the very first time, and we're really lucky to be out here today celebrating this. So today, our plan for you is we're going to call it a reenactment of the story of St George for you. We've got some of our youth commissioners and one of our deputy county commissioner. I wonder if you can work out which one's which when it comes to it. They're going to be reenacting the story of St George for you. What we're also going to be talking about is how our principles of scouting reflect the life of St George in lots of different ways. After that, we're then going to come together and renew our promises, and we're going to do for the first time ever the Squirrels promise as part of a promise renewal service, which is fantastic. We'll do the Beavers, we'll then do the Cubs, and then we'll do Scouts, Explorers, Scout Network, and all of the volunteer leaders all together with a Scout promise towards the end of the promises. And finally, what we'll play for you is the Roll of Honour as well. So you'll be able to see all of those adults and wonderful, amazing volunteers that have been awarded good and outstanding service awards in the past 12 months. I'm looking forward to being able to share that with you. So let's get started. Let's get on stage, first of all, our wonderful cast who are going to be joining us very shortly. And I'm going to read to you the story of St George. Are you sitting comfortably? George and the Dragon. Once upon a time, there was a brave knight called George. George had lots of adventures as he travelled by horse across the many lands. It's a very quiet horse. One day, he came to a small village and met a man who lived in a cave next to that village. The hermit told the knight about the awful things that were happening there. A terrible dragon had come to live in the lake and attack the village every single day. Every day he attacked the village. The dragon took all of the animals, but continued to attack the villagers. The dragon took all of their jewellery and their money, but was still not satisfied. He took all of their food, which came in a handy convenience 4-pack. With nothing left to give, the king could only think of one thing to help protect his people. So he sent his only daughter, the princess, to the lake to wait for the dragon. When George heard about this, he rode as fast as he could, a bit faster than that still, to the lake. And just then, the dragon jumped out from the lake and was going to eat the princess. George attacked the dragon. He fought very bravely. He won the fight and he killed the dragon. If you haven't worked out, we've got a live audience. Well, I say live. George and the princess returned to the village, and everyone was pleased that they would have no more problems with the dragon. And today, the story of George's bravery is remembered, and George is known as the patron saint of many countries. Once again, can I ask you to put your hands together for our wonderful cast? Come and take a bow. So thank you so much to Chris, to Kat and to Ryan. Wasn't that brilliant? Wasn't it great to hear about St George? St George has 3 characteristics that often get played out in reenactments like that, which match very well with what we want scouting to be like. Bravery, resilience, and of course, helping others. So let's talk about brave. So whether you're a squirrel, a beaver, a cub, a scout, an explorer, Scout Network member, or one of our amazing adult volunteers, you will at some time in your scouting need to show that you are brave, just like St George. We might not have to fight a dragon, but being brave is still very important. Whether it's being brave to play a new kind of game, or try a new activity like abseiling, or meet new people, or even do something different with young people, or something difficult in supporting adults. We all have to be brave at some point. Being brave means having the courage or strength when it's difficult to do that thing. As scouts, we're encouraged to do our best, to try our hardest, even if things are not easy. St George was a hero to lots of people, especially the villagers. But when you try your best, you are a hero. Maybe not to lots of people, but you are a hero to your families, your teachers, and of course, your leaders in scouting. And scouts have been brave for over 115 years now, when 2 groups of young people came together for the very first time from very different backgrounds to do their very first camp together. That's when they were brave. St George is also really resilient. And to be resilient means to be able to bounce back from difficult things. So if you fall over, you get up and you carry on. If you struggle to do that task, you try again. If you don't do that well in your tests or your exams, you keep trying to do your best. St George has had to be resilient and not had to give up. There are lots of others around the world who are having to be really resilient right now. We especially think of those that are being affected by the war in Ukraine. All of the children, all of the parents, grandparents are all having to live lives under really difficult situations. Every day they are having to keep going, even though things are really very difficult. It's when things get difficult that the principles of scouting really come out, especially when it comes to helping others. In all of our promises that we'll renew later, we all promise to be helpful or to help others. Scouting is brilliant at helping others, and it's one of the very best things we can do. We're going to play for you a short video now that shows how scouting from all over the world is helping others in this situation in Ukraine. It's amazing how scouting works so hard at helping others. But helping others doesn't have to be this big. It could be helping your mum or dad with the cooking, or helping a brother or sister tidy their room. You could help a school friend when they're feeling sad, or help one of our young people overcome one of their fears. We can all help someone, and it's also something we promise to do as scouts. We are just one of over 50 million scouts across the world, and if we all promise to do that one thing to help others, then surely the world will only become a better place for all of us. So what will you do to help someone today? So we're now going to come to our promise renewals. It's a very important part of what we do in scouting, when we come together to renew our promises, to recommit to doing our very best as Scouts. So next we're going to renew those promises, starting with the Squirrels, then the Beavers, then the Cubs, and then, as I said, the Scouts, the Explorers, the Network, and the adults. During each promise, we're going to invite you, even if you're watching from home, to stand and make the Scout sign and say the version of the promise that you are most comfortable with, the one that you learned and the one that you are most comfortable making. We'll say out one version, and you might be familiar with that, and if you want to use that version, you might. So first of all, we're going to invite Nick, who is our Assistant County Commissioner for Squirrels, to make the first ever promise renewal with Squirrels.
I promise to do my best, to be kind and helpful, and to love God.
Thank you, Nick. It's fantastic to have Squirrels on board now. Next up, we're going to have Roy, who is our Assistant County Commissioner for Beavers. So Beavers, it's your turn now.
If Beavers can make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I promise to do my best, to be kind and helpful, and to love God. Well done.
Thank you, Roy. Next up, I'd like to invite Ruthie, who is our Assistant County Commissioner for Cubs.
I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people and to keep the Cub Scout law.
Thank you, Ruthie. And finally, it's the Scout Promise, which is taken by Scouts, Explorers, Network members and adults across Scouting. So I invite you to just stand with me and make the Scout sign if you would. And we'll say it together instead of after repeating. So together we say, on my honour, I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people and to keep the Scout law. Thank you very much, everybody. So as our promise is renewed, how we can be brave, how we can be resilient, and how we can help others come through in everything we do in Scouting. And I set you that challenge again. What one thing can you do to help somebody today? We're coming to the end of our celebration, and I really want to say thank you to you for taking part. We've heard about St. George and how he demonstrated bravery, resilience, and wanted to help others, especially the princess and the villagers. We've also heard how these three things are important to us in Scouting. And now we've renewed our promises, committing once again to help others as much as we can. As well as it being Cranham's 75th birthday this year, you'll also know that this year is the Queen's Jubilee. 70 years of reigning on her throne, which is fantastic, helping others as our monarch in the UK. There will, of course, be lots of great activity to do this year to help us celebrate this. But why not start working towards the Gloucestershire Scouts Queen's Jubilee celebration badge that we've recently released? You'll find details on our homepage at www.gscouts.org.uk. You'll find on there's a little post that we're talking all about it. And you'll find on there the badge design competition. We want to try and get as many people taking part in the badge design competition because one of you will be designing the badge that everybody else in the county will have a chance to earn as part of the award. So we look forward to seeing your badge designs coming in. All of the details on our website. Before we finish off, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's here this afternoon. It's fantastic to see so wonderful smiling faces in the most part and great audience participation early on. I'd also like to say thank you to Cranham and the team for helping us put this on today. Big thank you to Ash helping us with the technical bits, and a big thank you to the cast of Kat, Ryan and Chris. It's fantastic to have them playing a part in reenacting this brilliant story. And finally, my final thank you is to each of you, especially if you're an adult in Scouting. The work that you do changes lives week by week, and it's so important to so many young people. I can still remember when I was a young person, long time ago, that an adult helped me and made me a better person. All of you are helping young people becoming even better people. So a big thank you to all of our adults across Scouting. We hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and do stick around to watch the Roll of Honour and see those people that have been awarded their Good and Outstanding Service Awards. Thank you for taking part. Thank you for being in Scouting. Good luck, everybody. Bye-bye.